who had 13 saves, gave up just the one goal on that night. The Patriots are gearing up for their game with the Dolphins on Sunday. Miami lost last night to the Titans. Pats are working out an offensive tackle, Jesse Davis. He has played left tackle before, 72 starts in his career. Some other NFL news: the Raiders are open to trading Devontae Adams. He formally requested a trade today, and Von Miller suspended 4 games for Buffalo. He violated the personal conduct policy. At the baseball playoffs, Royals with a 1-0 shutout over the Orioles. Detroit, they got a 3-1 win over the Twins. And in the National League, the Mets beat the Brewers 8-4 today. And the Braves trail the Padres right now 3-0 top of the 6th inning. Headlines, they are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update is in 30 minutes.
This is Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown turns the corner. Finger roll is up and good. Scoring the foul.
Listen to home of the Boston Celtics, 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Final 5 seconds ticking down. And a save made by Bussey to pad his stats on not a real eventful night for him, as that was just shot number 14. But he and the Bruins will take a 4-1 win in their final home preseason game of the year.
Back here at 98.5, the Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Got some extended coverage here on 98.5, the Sports Hub, after the Bruins win 4-1. A nice night over at the Garden, huh? Get to beat up on the Philadelphia Flyers. You saw most of the regulars out there. Saw a couple of guys battling for jobs. Nice night for the whole team. A 4-1 win. And this in the midst of everything happening with Jeremy Swayman. And already announced that Jonas Korpisalo will be the starter. You saw a nice night from the Bees. So if you want to react to it, the phone number is 617-779-0985. A ton of other stuff to get into. Patriot stuff. What's going on with Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins. More on the Swayman situation, of course. The baseball playoffs are ongoing, if you care about that. And we're still reacting to the Karl Anthony Towns trade for the New York Knicks. There was a trade that happened a year ago on this date, Celtics related. May have had a big impact in them winning the championship. So we'll get into that. And again, the phone number here is 617-779-0985. You can join the chat as well. I love the chat. I'm in there right now. And it's real easy to do. You just go to 98.5 the Sports, YouTube.com, and then 98.5 the Sports Hub. So, a couple of takeaways from tonight's game. Off the bat, you saw a lot of regulars in there tonight. And this is how it looked. You had Zaka, Lindholm, Pasternak. Pretty solid first line, right? Well, there's been talks about this second line and what they wanted to do. Well, tonight they went Coyle, Marchand, Geekie. Third line, Frederick, Brazeau, Johnson. Tyler Johnson, who's on a PTO trying to make the team. And then their fourth line, Beecher. This kid, Koepke, that's been done a lot. Little quiet tonight, but nice fourth liner. And then Kastelik. And then as far as their defense goes, you saw Lindholm, McAvoy, Lowry, Carlo, and then Zadorov and Peak. Pretty much most of the regulars, right? Or at least what you could see on a night. Right off the bat, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Justin Brazeau. I call him Brazzers. We like him. Guy can play. He's tough. He's big, and he's making an impact on this team. Playing on the third line tonight, he lit the lamp early on.
Off the face-off, they pull it back to Zadorov. He pivots down the left wing boards in front for Brazeau, and the save made by Erson. Maybe. The crowd behind the net seemed to think it was in.
Brazeau went he's right at the top of the crease. Nice pass from Zadorov. I think this is going to count.
And it did. It certainly did. I like this kid. They've made some moves now to give him a little bit more time. But nice to see him light the lamp. I believe he has 2 so far in the preseason. Another guy that's really impressed, and the other night when the team made the announcement that Merkulov and Lysell would go back to Providence, well, there were a couple of guys still hanging around, right? Brown, Tyler Johnson was one of them, and Koepke's another. And Tyler Johnson tonight got a great pass from Pavel Zacha and absolutely sniped it in the corner. Kid looks like he wants to stay here. I shouldn't even call him a kid. I think he's done enough to earn a spot, and he had a great goal tonight.
Pasternak, right circle now. Zacha cross, they score! Tyler Johnson! Beautiful puck movement to set that up. Johnson finishes it off, and the Bruins have a 2-1 lead.
Really nice pass by Zacha. Shouldn't go unnoticed. And nice to see. And that was on the power play, right? So a nice little power play unit there. If this guy, listen, he can play center, wing. He can hit play on the power play. He's good on the faceoffs. I mean, what else can you do in a preseason to earn a job? I know what Tyler Johnson is, but he might be what you need to start the year and continue to let Lysell and Merkulov develop. They've had PTOs hit before. Danton Heinen was a big part of what they did last year. What I like is he can play center and wing and faceoffs. And tonight, he can play with multiple people. That was a really nice shot from the corner there, right in front of the net. And if they can get that type of offensive production from guys that are supposed to be third and fourth liners, you'll take that every night of the week. And that's what happened tonight between Brazeau and Tyler Johnson. And just one other guy I wanted to highlight because I think he's been really good. And it's Kastelik. And is it Kastelik, Kastelik? I don't know what it is. All I know is the guy is really just, he stands out. He's a big dude. He had 5 shots on net tonight, including this little empty netter.
Couturier lost the puck coming through neutral ice. Lutchenko off balance, lost it to Kastelik. Kastelik from the red line will backhand one to the empty net, and they score. And it's 4-1.
Charlie Coyle had the other empty netter. They hit 2 of them in the final minute there, but just the guys I wanted to hit on. Brazeau, Tyler Johnson, Kastelik. Brazeau's always been a guy that I thought, could make an impact, growing player, tough, he's been a solid guy, but can he take the next step? And at least he shows he belongs in this preseason. But Johnson and Kastelik, these 2 guys, yep, they can play center. I'm sure they could play wing if they had to. But they add a different dimension to this team, and also it helps you continue to develop your system. So do I think that these are guys that will play in the playoffs? Probably not. Brazeau, probably. But as far as getting through the season early on and trying to give some rest, and let's not forget tonight, Brad Marchand was on the ice. From everything I heard, he's dealing with an illness. And I think it's been tweeted out by a couple of people. I know Ty Anderson had it as well. He's dealing with an illness. It's not injury related. That's good. But if there are nights you want to give him a blow, or you want to, if Coyle needs a night off and you need someone to play in there, these guys are really good options. And if, as far as Johnson goes, guy's been in the league for a while here. I really like what I saw from those guys tonight, and it was good to see them light the lamp. And besides what's going on with the Swayman situation, this team's poised. Right? They got so many different options. Montgomery can switch things up however he wants. I've still been a little concerned about their speed. Are they a little top heavy? Probably. But don't you want physicality? I mean, the fact they scored 4 goals, I know 2 of them were empty netters, but if the Bruins score 4 goals, they should win every night. And we know that that's their biggest issue. So getting contributions from Brazeau, Johnson, and Kastelik tonight, a big win in the preseason game for the Bruins. One other guy I should mention, of course, the Jeremy Swayman talk is real. They seem to be a part. I don't know how this thing ends. All I know is from people I've talked to, they don't trade goalies around this time of year. The NHL just doesn't do it. They pick their guy and they go into the season with it, and if they have to during the season, they make a move. So October is not really the time to make trades, especially for free agents or restricted free agents for that matter. But Korpisalo is going to start. Bussy's probably the backup. Bussy had 13 saves tonight. Considering he gave up the 4 goals in the game before, he played the entire game. Wasn't great against the Rangers. Much better tonight, and I think it helped having some help in front of him. How about Peak tonight? 4 shots on net, had a couple of blocked shots, and we finally saw Zadorov with a better, with just a better performance than week 1. Maybe he's settling in a bit. He had the assist tonight. He had 2 big blocks in 19 minutes. Skaz, I know you worked the game. Big boy out there.
Yeah, he's certainly a big boy. It's been a while since the Bruins have had a guy like that. That's gonna.
It's not Chara, but he's big.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm excited about this Bruins season. They look good, like you said. Bussy had a good game. He made a really good save on Anthony Richard. That was pretty impressive. And a guy that I thought stood out tonight, and I think he was there leading ice time, was Zacha. I thought Zacha was really good tonight. He's another guy who's just consistently gotten better since he's been in Boston. They're going to need him even more this year, and he's had a pretty solid preseason.
You know why I think Zacha stood out a little bit, to me at least? Pasternak was doing a lot. Obviously, he does that on a night, but if you look at it, yeah, Zacha had almost 19 minutes. Pasternak had 18 minutes. Pasta had 3 shots, 2 assists. They were definitely worried about him, which gives Zacha the opportunity to use his skill set. And, yep, it was impressive. That pass to Tyler Johnson, man. Whew. It's funny because if you listen to the call with Ryan Johnson, Johnson's so impressed by the pass because it was. You heard Zacha, Johnson, Tyler Johnson. It was just, yes, the pass was so good. You had to credit Pavel Zacha because it was right in front too. Beautiful. Little snipe right from the outside. It's beautiful. So if you want to react to the Bees tonight, 617-779-0985. Besides the Swayman situation, things are looking pretty good. Funny. It's funny to say it like that, huh? I mean, besides the goaltender that was probably their best player in the playoffs last year and is a big part of maybe them going to the Stanley Cup or going on a long playoff run. Besides that, everything's good with the Bruins. It's all good, baby. Someone else said that. 617-779-0985. I'm Joe Murray. Skaz is here and he's back. Get his thoughts on what he's missed over the last couple of days and what has happened to Mike McDaniel, head coach of the Miami Dolphins. We'll get into all that as we're here until 11 o'clock tonight. I'm Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray.
right, back there, 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. We'll get into Patriot stuff and, of course, anything else that's going on tonight. Baseball playoffs are on right now. Just wanted to get back on this Tyler Johnson thing for a minute. I remember him from his Tampa Bay days. I know that he's somewhat have been on the back nine with Chicago the last couple of years. If you think about it, last year, 31 points. He had 17 goals, 14 assists. I know they were a little bit of a rebuild year. But, I remember him being, like, in the Selke conversations at times early in his career. I know he somewhat had a fall off, but I would say right around 2000. Yeah, I would say, probably from like he's kind of slowed down a bit and then went to Chicago. But this was a really nice player for a bunch of years. Just looking it up now, 193 goals, 238 assists. Hey, if he can get to 200 goals, 200 assists, that's a good career. He's already had a good career. So I don't know how things are going to shape up for the Bees. I really don't. But when you look at their cap and, where would he fit? Because it's going to be Lindholm, Pasternak, Zacha. Geeky, Coyle, Marchand, Patra, Frederick, blank. I mean, Max Jones was one of the guys there. Kastelik, Brazeau, Beecher. I think Johnson's your other guy. And he's certainly making a case, no doubt about it. He's 34 years old. We mentioned the other night that they sent a bunch of guys down. And he was battling with Merkulov and Lysell. And a bunch of his competition's already at camp now. And Patrick Brown's still around. Vinny Lettieri's still there. Jeff Veal, I don't know. Cole Koepke's an interesting case, but I think Johnson might have won the battle tonight. And I really like Riley Tufte. That's my guy.
You're a Tufte guy.
That's my guy.
You're a Tufte guy.
He's a big boy. Him and Kastelik on the fourth line with like a Brazeau. That would be like the remember when the Mighty Ducks had what were they? What were they? The Bash Brothers, right? That's what they were. I don't know why I went blank on that one for a second there. But like they got some size there.
They got some beef, Joe.
Oh, we got our beefs, bro, for sure. On that one. I like the kid. I keep calling him a kid. He's 34 years old trying to make the team. He belongs. He belongs with this group. Now, listen, I've seen veterans play well early on and tail off here. James Van Riemsdyk last year, I was all over that one. And at the deadline, I'm like, trade him. Trade him. Because you know what it is? I do notice that a lot of these guys, the younger players is what I mean, they ascend later in the year. Now, I don't know if... Here's the other thing about Johnson. Patra got hurt last year. They're throwing him right in there. I know he can play at the level, but what if he struggles? What if he does get hurt? Like, they need some sort of insurance for a guy like that. I love that they're playing a younger guy. I thought they were going to do that with Lysell. Without Swayman, you might need some of these veterans in here. I'm a Tufte guy, but I think Tyler Johnson. I like Patrick Brown, too, for that matter. I think he's not what Johnson is, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, Brown's that nice little center, fourth liner that will give you like a little bit of a breather every night. But if we're talking about production, it's Tyler Johnson.
Yeah, I've seen enough Patrick Brown. I'm sure he's a great guy, but I've seen enough.
I'm just giving you the names that they're trying to mix and match down there. So I don't know how they do it. They'd have to sign him. It would be under $1 million.
So the thing for me on Lysell and Merkulov is I just felt it was a little early. I'm fine with them not making the opening night roster. If that's how you see the roster breaking down, they're not ready. But I thought Lysell played all right. Like, why not give him a couple more preseason games with the big club? So I'm sure you guys already talked about it a little bit, but that was my takeaway. Was it just felt a little early. If you're trying to give the kid some run, if you're trying to see him with NHL players and against NHL players, eventually we need to find out about Lysell. Merkelov a little. I think he's got a little more ways to go, but I just thought the timing was a little odd. I would have preferred to see him play, 1 or 2 more games in the preseason for the Bruins.
All right, and Bussy, what'd you think?
Yeah, 13 shots, so tough to give him like a real hard grade, but I thought he was fine. The 1 goal obviously is what it is.
I think that's what he is.
Yeah.
I think he'll give up a couple, but for the most part, he's a backup goalie. The only thing I'll say about him is he'll go the distance. I just don't know what the end result will be on that one. Because he gave up some goals early the other night against the Rangers, and it was pretty much over. But tonight, hung in there. And getting a couple empty netter. Charlie Coyle lighting the lamp, that was cool. Kastelik, another guy, lighting the lamp on the empty netter tonight. So Brazeau, Johnson, Coyle, Kastelik, all those light the lamp tonight. Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. And Skaz, we talked about this earlier, but, when it came out yesterday that Cam Neely said there's 64 million reasons why, Jeremy Swayman should play, I think we all took it as $64 million. So I'm sure that if he wants to backtrack on that when he can. I didn't like it. I didn't like that Neely put out I didn't like it.
No, I was just laughing because you didn't like it, and I loved it.
I didn't like it because here you are talking about contracts in public. But as you raised earlier, who's the one who's really been talking about the contract in public?
That would be one Jeremy Swayman. So if he's upset, if his agent's upset, look in the mirror.
And I think that's why Don Sweeney was upset a week ago. Talking about the Spit and Chicklets podcast and some of the stuff that... So, I'm starting to just think about it now. Swayman's talking to his people. This dude Gross is gross. He's worked with a lot of players. He wants to get the most for his... he's an agent that wants to get the most for his player. So I think he is spilling information that might not be true to make the organization look bad. So now that I'm really starting to process it a little bit, the Bruins paid everybody, and I'm going way back, dude. Like Chris Kelly, they paid. Like
Daniel Paille.
There are guys. DeBrusque got one every year. I'm just saying they've always paid everyone. It was a clubhouse for so long of guys who played together for a really long time, and they paid everyone. They gave them all. They're probably going to pay Marchand, right? They're probably going to give Jim Montgomery an extension. So, in a way, you can't say the Bruins are cheap or don't pay, because they do. But how did it look like in the media? It looked like they made it a business, and he's trying to set the market, which, in reality, the Bruins have given him a very handsome offer, but he wants to set the market and make it a business.
Yeah, and I think you're in a spot that a lot of Bruins fans are in, and I'm in that spot too, where you like Jeremy Swayman. You like that Jeremy Swayman is on the Bruins. Jeremy Swayman is a good player. Take Jeremy Swayman out of it. Say it's player X. Just any player on any team. If this was a Patriot or a Celtic, and they've played, 80 games at the professional level, whatever it is, and they had a good run. I wouldn't say a great run, but a pretty good run. And then in the offseason they're going on podcasts, talking about their contract, a young up-and-coming player going on a podcast, talking about money and how they're going to reset the market. For me, it's just, why is Jeremy Swayman the goalie that's going to reset the market? This isn't Igor Shesterkin. This isn't Vasilevsky. This is Jeremy Swayman. So I just think it's a very, it's an odd place for Bruins fans, because I like Jeremy Swayman. I want Jeremy Swayman on the Bruins. But at the same time, like, It's just, I think you're trying a little bit too hard. You're drinking the Kool-Aid from your agent a little bit too much, is kind of my perspective on it, because Jeremy Swayman is good. He's not reset the goalie market good. I don't think he's proven that. If you want to reset the goalie market, Swayman, sign a bridge deal, prove you're worth it, and then reset the goalie market.
Tuukka did that.
Tuukka did that. And guess what? Tuukka has, a top 3 goals against in the history of the league, whether you like him or not. That's just a fact. So, yeah, it's just, I don't want to call Jeremy Swayman a diva. I think that's a little strong. But if I'm that locker room that's laden with veteran guys and guys that have one thing on their mind, to win a cup, this young goalie who's holding out and talking about his contract in the offseason, I can't imagine that sitting too well in the room.
If Shesterkin gets $12 million, let's say, shouldn't Swayman think about getting a bump a little bit? Like, I don't know. I see that money there. Big boy money. I'll just say this about the Bruins and Swayman. It would be a really good partnership. They like him. They want to pay him handsomely. He will get paid handsomely. He won't have to worry about his contract for the next 7-8 years. He'll be a goaltender on a contending team year in and year out that continues to rebuild and pays to the cap every single season. They're trying to develop players. They're drafting higher now. They're giving up assets so they can get first-round picks because they don't have... Like, the organization is doing... one more take. This is another take. This has been air frying now in my brain. What hasn't the organization done? Like, think about this. The organization has spent money, made trades. They brought in guys they probably shouldn't have. Right? They brought in Lucic back. That didn't work out. All I'm saying is this. They continuously try to improve the team in any way, whether it's good for publicity or not. They make the trades when they have to. They went all in 2 years ago. What have the players done? Like, at some point, right? You look at management and say they've done everything they possibly could. What have the Bruins done? Like, some of these guys, last year they might have went further than we thought. They went to 6 games with the Stanley Cup champions, and they didn't have the roster. But the year before that, they went all in. They traded first-round picks, multiple first-round picks. They had to trade guys off just to dump salary that they traded for. At some point, it has to be on the players to perform because management certainly has. So if they feel like their number is 62 or whatever and he's at 68, they've always paid handsomely. And at some point, why should they give in to the players anymore? I just went full circle right there. Anyways, you're coming home from the game, you want to talk about it. 617-779-0985. Andrew's in the car. Hey, Andrew.
Hey, thanks for taking the call. First point is earlier tonight you said that Swayman took the Bruins to arbitration. The Bruins took him. Yeah, exactly. It was Swayman. So it's on him. Secondarily, as it relates to Tyler Johnson, the Bruins need skill right now. I mean, they tonight against Philadelphia, it was a struggle to get pucks on net, and finally he puts one in. They got big, they got strong, two-way. We'd love to see it. I think the fans will love this team this year. But obviously Lysell is great in training camp, but I mean, when it comes down to it, when you put the wheels to the road, Tyler Johnson maybe he's not the 70-point guy he was in Tim Bay, but he can do it. So I'm pro Tyler Johnson right now as it stands. So we'll see how it goes.
He's in. And on TJ. Hashtag that in on TJ. Ian's in the car. Hey, Ian.
So, hi. My name's Ian. I want to talk about Tyler Johnson tonight. He was, in my opinion, he was out there flying tonight, and I think he looks great on the Bruins roster on a bottom, third-line role, kind of like a Daniel Pye back in 2011. I think he's going to be a great fit on this team.
I do. I agree with you. In on TJ. Hashtag In on TJ. See? He got everyone's got a little TJ in their sweater. A little TJ in their sweater. Tim's in Plymouth. Hey, Tim.
Hey, Joe. How you doing?
Good, bro.
Nice. I just don't think we can spend that money at the goalie position. It's too much.
Well, they have.
If you look back at Tuukka.
Well, just real quick, they have $10 million of salary cap space.
Yes. Yeah. So I've been saying since we signed Tuukka after the Chicago Stanley Cup, that was a bad move. I've been saying that ever since, and everyone, didn't want to listen. But you think about it, like Anton Hudobin, Chad Johnson, they had the same winning percentage as Tuukka Rask because the team in front of Rask at the time was built the right way, which I think if we can use that money elsewhere, it'll be the same type of thing.
Yeah. Who else do they have in here for a bit? Who's the guy from Montreal that came in with Tuukka for a bit and had to start the playoffs when Tuukka left? I'm just saying they've always been able to find backup goalies. Here's the deal, dude. If you think the Bruins are a Stanley Cup team, you want Jeremy Swayman.
Yeah. I mean, he's a great goalie. I just for that money,
it's not your money, Tim.
Ask.
Tim, it's not your money.
I know. I'd rather get a top four defenseman or a top six forward.
Well, you did that in free agency with Zadorov, but here's the deal: they pay to the cap every year. You have $10 million left. You just give them the money, and you still have money to go do the things you want to do.
Yeah, but then down the road, it might bite you,
Yeah, but then down the road,
8 years.
But maybe down the road you get Lysell and Patra and Merkulov and Brazeau and Lowry. I mean, those guys are small salary guys.
Yeah, I guess time will tell. But it's good talking to you, Joe.
All right, buddy. Take it easy. I don't know. Am I making sense on that? There's all these young players that are coming along and developing who won't really hurt your salary cap. Like McAvoy and Pasternak are going to hurt your salary cap. Well, should I say hurt? They're going to take up a percentage. I shouldn't say hurt. But I mean, looking at it, they're going to have some money that frees up in a while too. Just over time. Now, Lowry, they'll have to do some sort of restricted extension. You got you got 2 more years of peak at almost $3 million. Your whole entire fourth line are under $1 million. That's what it should be. You'll probably have to get Frederick an extension at some point, right? And Geeky, I don't know what they do with him. He's $2 million. But as far as guys moving on, I mean, they'll probably just continue to keep rotating those fourth liners. If the Bruins are good, they're going to find these PTO guys every year. It happened with Heinen last year. Why not TJ this year? We'll get our final headline of the night. I'm Joe Murray here in the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
Bruins win 4-1 tonight. Goals from Justin Brazeau, Tyler Johnson, and then Charlie Coyle and Kastelik on the empty net.
Felger and Maz are just his pregame.
They've been getting wholesale deals for years.
It's Joe Murray on the Sports Hall.
I don't foresee this locker room quitting. I don't see it as their nature. However, you have to give guys reasons to go above and beyond. I think you have to hold literally every person in the building accountable to what we see their jobs as and their purpose and what they're doing for the team and what they're not doing for the team. It's hard conversations that are very, very necessary.
All right, back here in 98.5, the Sports House. I'm Joe Murray. Skaz is here. If I heard my coach like that, I don't want to listen to that guy. Did you hear him? Well, we have some things that just, some unnecessary conversations. He's running out of answers. He's running out of answers. That didn't sound good. You just play a little bit more of that. Just hear it in slow-mo, or just play it again and just rip it apart.
Foresee this locker room quitting. I don't see it as their nature. However, you have to give guys reasons to go above and beyond.
He's like getting choked up almost, it sounds like. It's never good when you say, I don't really think these guys are going to quit. However, we got to try and give them some reasons not to quit.
He heard Tyreek. Listen, if Tyreek was yelling at me, I'd be scared too. By the way, just to throw it out there, you think they hang on to him? They just gave him this big deal. That guy's a problem if he's not getting the ball. And here's the thing, guys, he deserves the ball. I don't like him as a person, personally. But as a football player, that guy does some amazing things. The Chiefs are going to lose the Chiefs are getting by with Juju Smith-Schuster. Okay? Their backup tight end is one of their top options. I don't know how. Would they be able to afford it? I don't know. But if it was a second-round pick, why wouldn't the Chiefs do it? On the flip side of it, and I know this was supposed to be a Mike McDaniel conversation, but why don't we just throw what else is going on in the sports world and in the NFL and compare it to the Patriots? Davante Adams, no longer working with the Raiders. And realistically, how many people want to trade for a guy that's 31, about to be 32? And the Jets probably are the favorite. I already saw the betting odds. But this is not a slight on Davante Adams' ability by any means. But does he really improve the Jets? And the only reason why I say maybe is just because of the familiarity. The other one would be the Ravens to me. Right? Like, I mean, they have Zay Flowers. Andrews is taking a step back. Nelson Aguilar is their next, target.
Can I give you a fun one?
Yeah.
What if the Commanders took the pick they got from Dotson to the Eagles, that third-round pick, and added Davante Adams?
Yeah, do they have the I mean, I guess you can figure out the cap, right? That would be, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Because McLaurin's been pretty good.
He's been awesome.
And if he's got that other guy on the other side.
They have a McCaffrey over there that's playing pretty well, too.
Well, it would set up their young player with a receiver, It won't be Green Bay. They're too, I'm just thinking of teams. The Cowboys are always in the mix, right? They really didn't upgrade at all this year.
Do you think Harbaugh would want him? Help Justin Herbert out a little bit? I know Johnston's been okay.
Well, they don't really have a...
They don't have anybody, really. I mean,
McConkey's
Quentin Johnston's... yeah, he's been okay, yeah.
The Steelers are still in the mix. I know that they were on that list of top teams. But, I like the idea of a young quarterback, right? A young quarterback. It won't be the Bears. And for those who bring up the Patriots, it's just money and picks, right? So I get it. It won't work here. If you heard Davante Adams was coming to the Patriots, I'm sure everybody would be happy. Where does it make sense? Oh, he'll be 33 years old with Drake May. And think about all the names in free agency. Right? T. Higgins, Amari Cooper. You'll probably get a better deal from those guys. Plus, they're younger.
Yeah, I don't see any reason for the Patriots to be in on Adams.
I think Adams great.
I almost wonder if Cooper gets moved in season.
Yeah, because the Browns are not doing well at the moment.
And he's like leading the league in drops. So just, not working out.
Can you have one more? Buffalo Bills.
They look good the other night.
Even though they lost. If Davante Adams was on the field and with the arm strength, it'd be a 2-year deal, whatever it'd be, whatever his contract is for the guaranteed money. And they do draft well. So that's why I wonder if they'd be willing to give up. Like if they give up they might have to give up a second-round pick. They might have to do that because their second-round pick would be so late. That would be an interesting team to me. But as far as other teams go, I don't see like the Texans, Colts doing it. The Chargers would be interesting, guys. They'd be interesting. Philly's got some injuries at their receiver right now, but that'd be a lot of balls to throw around. The Lions, probably not, right?
They got so many weapons already.
And the Bucs, same thing. I mean, I don't know. The Rams could use one, but are they out of it? And they already have huge cap issues as it is. Let's have some fun. 49ers. Like, could they pay both Ayuk, Samuel? Because Samuel's probably gone after this year. McCaffrey, who knows it? You know what I mean? But if they can add that extra piece.
I mean, if they really want to go all in for this year, then yeah, I could see that. But you're all in.
Probably have to be a second-round pick, right?
Yeah, because it's going to be late second.
That's interesting. I'm trying to find like a team that would like kind of out of nowhere that would do something like this. Like I wouldn't see the Giants doing it, I wouldn't see the Bears doing it. I mean, Carolina, no. The Saints? Chris Olave is kind of their top guy. Won't be the Jags. I'm just spitballing, but to me, I think it's Buffalo, Baltimore, Steelers.
I think Kansas City's a good one. Now that Rice is out for the year,
well, plus their running backs. They where are their? They're winning right now because they're the Chiefs. But how long with the injuries that they have? If you had to choose between Tyreek Hill and Davante Adams, excuse me, I know you want Tyreek Hill, but Davante Adams makes more sense.
He's easier to get, too.
You give up your pick, you acquire him. He's in it to win it for, 2 or 3 years? Maybe at the last year of a deal, you cut him or you send him elsewhere. It makes too much sense. All I would say, though, is if I'm the Buffalo Bills, I'm sick of the Chiefs getting picks or getting players that they could have had.
Another Xavier Worthy situation.
But it's happened a bunch. It happened with Mahomes. Okay? So I just throw them in there because they always miss out. But that would be them going for it, right? That would be the Bills going for it. Anyways, we went late. So we got a show tomorrow night. We're on 6 to 8:30, followed by the New England Revolution. Unfortunately, Skaz has to work the game. I get to go home. So that's what happens when you go on a little vacation. You got to put in the, you got to put in a little bit more elbow grease. So that's it, Skaz. Maybe tomorrow we'll dig in on some more Celtic stuff. They're in Abu Dhabi right now. We'll react to more Swayman stuff. I have some numbers regarding the Patriots and the Dolphins rushing. It's not good. Neither team are good. But that's why they play the games. And can the Patriots finally win at home? For James Caramazzino, I'm Joe Murray. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow night at 6 o'clock here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on The Sports Hub.